Well, it's Sunday morning, just after 9 o'clock. Beautiful autumn day. So we'll go for a quick ride into Timaru. It's only about 20 minutes from this town, Geraldine. Pretty typical Sunday morning in New Zealand. People, it's a slow start generally on Sundays here, and not a lot of traffic till at least mid-morning. Certainly not in these small towns. If you move around the big cities, you're probably pretty good up to about 10 o'clock. And then it starts getting pretty heavy after that, especially around Auckland. But we're a long way from there today. Open road sign there ahead. In New Zealand, that means you can go to the open road speed limit, which is 100 k's an hour. Don't know why they don't put 100, because they do have 100 speed limit signs that say 100. So we have two different ones that mean 100 k's an hour, which is the maximum highway speed you're legally allowed in New Zealand. Don't ask me why. There's our 100. Okay, we're on Route 72, which is going to finish just down the road actually, when we join up again with State Highway 1, which is the main north-south traffic route. It's certainly not a interstate or autopista. It's definitely a highway only, but it does traverse the whole of New Zealand north to south, with of course a break in the middle for the Cook Strait, which separates the two islands. So anyway, recently constructed roundabout, not quite finished yet. Oops, bit of a step up there, watch out for that. So yeah, we're heading to Timaru. Timaru's a smaller city slash big town, about 40,000 population, sport town, and a hub for agriculture in the area, a service hub. Yeah, originally a reasonably important port, first safe or reasonably safe port south of Christchurch. When the settlers first came, it was quite important. Now it's not really growing a lot. It's certainly healthy, but yeah, it'll always be a what we call a regional centre, and it's the main town or city in South Canterbury, one of the smaller provinces. We're about the middle of autumn now, mid-April in New Zealand. We have an Indian summer, a longer summer. We can get very warm days. Can get up in the high 20s even in autumn. But of course, very changeable weather in New Zealand. We are just an island nation, and we can certainly have 28 degrees one day and then 12 the next. So we're due for our first frost, which we haven't had yet. We're in sort of the middle of the South Island, so we're heading to get south we're about halfway between 44 and 45 south. But yeah, due for our first frost any day now. Okay, so we're just about to join back on the State Highway 1 heading south at this small town with one of the coolest names, I reckon, for a town in New Zealand. There it is, Winchester. Probably not too politically correct these days, but I don't care. I'm a male that loves motorbikes, women, guns, and doing whatever the hell I want as long as it doesn't interfere with anybody else. Maybe that's one of the reasons I rode motorbikes. That's that independence thing, will just beat the truck across. Okay, back on the State Highway 1, Winchester, neat little town. It's got a gas station and a pub, that's all you need, isn't it? Lovely looking old pub, the Wolseley. Destination today, Timaru. There we are, 25 k's from here. The reasonable sized town of Temuka, just down the road from here. State Highway 1, as I said, it traverses the whole New Zealand north, from the very top of the north to the very bottom of the south. This is pretty much how it is. It's a 2-lane highway. There's a few spots where it's a split highway, but not much of it. This is pretty much it here. It does have some passing lanes, but this is pretty typical, just like this. And of course it goes through a lot of towns, including this one, Temuka. Famous for not much. Back in the 70s, there was they thought there was a foot and mouth outbreak on a Temuka pig farm. Turned out they were getting blisters because they were getting fed mash they were getting fed was too hot. Anyway, Temuka. So if you are going through Temuka, heading north or south, and you're feeling hungry at all, I highly recommend this place on the right, the Teapot Inn. Quite a well-known operation, certainly around this area. It's one of the few of the last traditional tea rooms, and so back 20, 30, 40 years ago, certainly in the 60s and 70s, and obviously before that, not a lot was open in New Zealand on the weekends. In fact, virtually nothing, including gas stations. And but tea rooms, when you travelled, of course there was no cafe scene back then, so when you travelled, you looked for a tea room where you could rest, enjoy a pot of tea. Devonshire teas were popular back then. I suspect most young ones today wouldn't even know what that was, a Devonshire tea. But anyway, that's one of the last traditional tea rooms that I know of, and it's here in Temuka. Very good food. I mean, tea room food. Well, what's tea room food if you've never been to one? Just, side of the road restaurant type food. Big healthy servings of chips. Plenty of fried food, and yeah, I think you'd get a bit of a shock at their reply if you asked for something gluten-free or soy. To be fair, they've probably got soy milk stuff, but yeah, very traditional, and you don't see many like that anymore. The Teapot Inn in Temuka. Just about through Temuka now. Just slide past this car. Over the two bridges, in the two rivers, obviously, two bridges. South end of Temuka, this area, Arawhenua, a beautiful marae just down this road here. Beautiful marae, and ironically, maybe not ironically, but just while we're driving past, fixed speed camera right here. Okay, that's been there for one of the best performing cameras when it's put in for the police. So that's a fixed camera, just remember that. Anyway, Arawhenua marae. So of course the Māori population in the south is a lot less than the north, probably due to the fact that the winters were quite harsh, or still are quite harsh, especially if you're pre-European times, and most of the Māori population down in the south here stuck close to the coast, where there was plenty of food, good food supply. Remember, New Zealand had no native mammals, so the only thing inland to eat were some birds, including the flightless moa. Anyway, Arawhenua, important marae, especially for this district. Typical passing lane setup. Of course, it's well documented, slow vehicles, when they get to the passing lanes, actually speed up. This is subconscious or psychological, that you feel you're safe because you've got more room. There's more room between you and oncoming traffic, so just be aware if you're going to pass a vehicle on the passing lanes, you may have to crack past them and wonder why they've sped up. Generally they're not speeding up to annoy you, just a subconscious thing. Anyway, that was a passing lane. Our black and white friends. Right. Should have said our blue friends. I'm showing my age. 20 years ago, traffic police had a black and white car, and so we just they were known as black and whites. But anyway, another one there. Different colour scheme, same job. Bit of a thankless task, I guess, same as anywhere in the world. Obviously, somebody like me, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with them. Appreciate the work they do, but not when they pull me over. So getting on the outskirts of Timaru now. Big industrial part of Timaru is at the north end here, along with the racetrack. The racetrack here, of course, home of the famous New Zealand horse Phar Lap. He was born and raised and was trained here before he sent to Australia. He won virtually everything he raced in. It was back in the 20s. And they sent him to America to race, I think, Secretariat, or one of those most famous American horse, in California. And the night before the race, or the morning of the race, they found him dead in a stall that he'd poisoned. Of course, big rumours, I'm sure it was true, wasn't proven, but the mafia didn't want him to win, or somebody didn't want, they just knew he was going to beat the American horse. And of course they don't want something beating an American horse, not from little old New Zealand. So yeah, they poisoned him and he died. And there's a statue of him right there. Raceway, Phar Lap Raceway, named after the horse. Of course, very famous that when he raced in Australia for the Melbourne Cup, back then back then, of course, it wasn't computerised, and newspapers had to make up their headlines well ahead of time, and to make the 6 o'clock edition of the newspaper, they made up 2 headlines because they didn't know what was going to happen in the race. And the first headline was Aussie horse wins and the second one was of course Kiwi horse loses. Wash tight, here we are, just entering into the northern suburb or industrial area part of Timaru. Very quiet right now, but during the week right around here there's a lot of trucks coming out of these side roads. Got to be really careful, especially this one here. Okay, especially around 5 o'clock. You're riding a bike, you better have your wits about you, and take it easy through here. Every reasonable sized town's got one. The Greasy Mile. All the food groups are represented here. Getting right into middle of Timaru now. That's the CBD over there. We actually will cut along there and get a look at the bay. Timaru's quite famous for, they've got a beautiful bay called Geraldine Bay right here on the left. Very well developed, heaps of gardens and walks and stuff on the left. Right next to the port on one side, and that port's got 2 fish processing plants. You never smell a thing. Never smell a thing. The water's beautiful. Here's concentration of restaurants and bars. Quite popular in the evenings, obviously. There's the bay, beautiful bay. Very safe swimming beach. Oh, we're going to go down Main Street, Stafford Street, main shopping precinct of Timaru. Now it is Sunday, so the only thing open on Sundays are some of the cafes. Some shops open later in the day, and normally if they're going to open on Sunday they'll normally open about 10. Of course pubs don't open until 11. Suzuki motorcycles, Kawasaki motorcycles. There is Honda, Yamaha and Can-Am also have dealerships in Timaru. And that pretty much is the certainly north side to the centre of Timaru. Catch you in the next video, and ride safe. Till then, catch you later.